Hey everyone, doing some TeaDB here, bringing another Inbetweenisode. So this is going to be one of the episodes where I drink ripe out of this big blue pot and just say some basic thoughts. My wife was out of town for a little bit, visiting some sick family members. I wasn't drinking ripe for a while. So this is actually the first ripe I've opened since she's returned about a month ago, and I have just about finished it off. So the last episode on ripe I did was the Year of the Pig Red. So appropriately, we have moved on to the Year of the Pig Blue, we'll see how we like this. So I've been drinking this. And this is actually, and I wasn't sure if this is because this is one of those teas that's just kind of hard to get a handle on, or if it's just because it's the first ripe I've had in quite a while. Just really wasn't drinking a ton of ripe with my wife not around. And frankly, I'm not sure. I've actually had kind of a hard time getting a feel for this, and I wasn't sure if it's just not paying enough attention or a couple different reasons. So I'm coming into this episode almost finishing off a cake, but also feeling like I don't have a super great understanding of the tea yet too. So here we are, steeps number 4 and 5. Let's just give some quick impressions. Cheers. Creamy, woody. It sort of has this slick texture to it too. It's slick but thick. I wanted to say it was thinner earlier, but I think that may have just been my earlier brew. This one's still pretty good. Not too sweet as far as ripes go. Yeah, pretty solid daily drinker. No weird of the pile taste or anything like that. I was reading Scott's description of this tea, and it turns out this is a blend from a bunch of different areas that are not particularly close to each other. Jingmai, Menghai, Linchang, in Mengku. So all three different prefectures that are used for pu'erh there. And it also used a bunch of different leaf grades too. So maybe that is one of the reasons why I've had such a difficult time just sort of getting a feel for this tea. It's not to say that I dislike this tea at all, just that I haven't really found that sort of consistency where I'm like, okay, this is a tea, and I know exactly sort of what category it is. Probably the most extreme example of that would be something like the Lao Mani ripe that Denny and I either just brought on or are about to bring on to TeaDB, where it's just so strong in certain characteristics that really just pop. This tea, I'd much rather drink on the daily than that tea, but it doesn't really have those characteristics. So, yeah, I'd say, let's see. Let's go on to this tea. So even a little different. So pretty dynamic brew to brew too, for a ripe. Basic smells coming off of there. Sort of a fairly rich, high-noted scent for a ripe pu'erh at least. So this is definitely not one of your really heavy fermented, danky, all lower register ripe. Maybe a little bit of vanilla, some wood. I think I brewed this just a little heavier. Oh no, pretty drinkable. I'd say for me, something like this is quite easy to drink. I'd say overall, I do actually prefer the Year of the Pig Red, which to me had a little bit more cohesion to it, and that could just be my preference. I wouldn't fault anyone if they did like this cake more. So I'm going to give it a sort of similar mark to that tea. Going to give it a 5.8 out of 10. I believe I gave that tea a 6. So again, pretty solid, but maybe towards the Well, I'd say I do like a few of Scott's line a little bit more, I should say. Especially that Bawang for me is the one that's sort of a good value that just sort of pops at me too. So really, really enjoy that particular tea. This tea, clearly have had no problems getting through it. I'm going to finish it up soon and move on to something else. Finally, I am through almost the 2019 line of Scott now that 2020 is almost over, and then I'll probably start drinking some 2020s too. So I have a few new ripe cakes to try soon, and I thank you all for tuning in. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Have a couple cool special different sort of episodes coming on that should be a little bit more interesting than such a basic episode as this one, I think. So thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Cheers.